What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here, and I know I'm finally back, and it sucks. Yep, pretty much it just sucks, and we'll get into that here shortly. If it's your first time here, hey, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back, and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. Now, why in the world does it suck? Well, it sucks because we have again lost football. And listen, this isn't one of those things to where Vince McMahon lost or this or that or whatever. We all lost in this, and we've all been losing. This has just been terrible. It's just all the crap that's been going on across the world. It has literally been just taking things out, and now it's officially hit the XFL. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't even have to name it. But what happened is let's go ahead and let's start with Friday. Friday, I'm minding my own business. I'm working and trying to figure out everything that I can, because the fact of the matter is that right now, with the way that things are going on, I am truly thankful to still have a job, to still be working when thousands of you out there are laid off, and I feel bad for you, and I pray for you, and I'm truly am thankful to have a job, and I feel bad for you guys out there. And that's part of the reason why I haven't been doing videos. I've just been literally so swamped with things, and there hasn't been really the news to really do the videos like I have in the past. So I've taken some time, and as things have been kind of closed down, I've been working more hours at work, but in the evenings I've been having more time. So I've been enjoying my family and hanging out with them. And hopefully you guys have taken some time to look at the things in your life and what matters to you and spend some time with them. But that being said, I'm going to get back into doing videos, and unfortunately this has to be the video that launches it all off. So let's get back to Friday. So Friday, I'm minding my own business, and it comes across, and I see it, and I see the news. The XFL has laid off all of their employees. And then from there, it just kept falling. Now, listen, I will say that on Friday, when I heard this news, I took it as it's bad news. It's not necessarily good news, but I understand it for the XFL. Why do I understand this news for the XFL? Listen, right now, nobody's making any money, and the people that do have money, that are still paying, employees, employers that are doing that, and that are still paying people, I applaud you. Thank you for doing that, because the reality of it is nobody's making money in this, and so these companies are taking their money, and they are continuing to pay their workers. So thank you for doing that. Unfortunately, the XFL just couldn't withstand that, and so the XFL laid off everyone, and to a lot of people, the XFL was dead then on Friday. Not to me, and again, you know me, I'm an optimist. I look at things on the bright side, and so when I saw this as possibly it was an opportunity for them, being as vulnerable as they are as a new company, to go through and lay these workers off. These workers can get unemployment funds, and then they can still hopefully stay afloat as a league, and that they can, possibly take this company and, possibly ride this thing out and come back from it. Well, turn around, and we find out pretty much a day ago that they have now filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And so it's pretty much put the nail in the coffin. And that is kind of where we're standing, and that is where it's at. So in a nutshell, for me, that really just killed it for me. If you're somebody who's been watching this channel for a while, if you're somebody who's just, tuned in for a little bit, that, one, I love football, and two, that I love the XFL. I loved everything about the XFL. I loved what the XFL was doing. I loved the vision that they had. I bought in. I bought into the XFL, and it was great. I thought that they were doing well. They had the naysayers, and we've talked about that, and we're not even going to go down that road. The fact of the matter is that this virus, what's going on right now, is what took the XFL down. The XFL had a bright future, and that's unfortunately what's taken the XFL down. And that's what it is. Listen, it was something that took my heart, and it finally sunk in yesterday. The XFL is pretty much officially done. That fantastic form of football, that fast pace, just, break speed, with unapologetic. You get to see everything, full-on access to everything. I mean, it was awesome. It was, drama-filled. You got to see everything as it was happening on the football field. I loved every minute of it. I truly am being honest when I say that I will never watch football the same way again. I really won't, because the XFL took some things, and maybe I'll do a video coming up here about, the things that the NFL should take from the XFL, that the college football should take from the XFL. Because the XFL, if you ask me, now granted, it took a while for them to get their stride, and I still think that Fox did a much better job than ESPN when it came to that total access and giving us that access with it. But I will truly never watch a game of football the same way again. I mean, the pace of football, it was nice. I loved the fast pace of it. I mean, games are just going to feel slower. That's just the reality of it for me, is that really that faster clock really did a lot. And I love that kickoff. The kickoff was nice. We'll see if any of these type of things are implemented into the college game or the pro game. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I truly loved the XFL. I loved the logos. I mean, I think Tampa Bay, and I for you guys, I got my Tampa Bay shirt on. Joking, kidding aside. After I saw, it on the field, it wasn't as bad as what I thought, but I loved all of the logos, whereas the Alliance, I did not like really any of them. I think the only one I really kind of sort of liked was San Antonio, and that was kind of sort of liked it. So, listen, this was the league for me, and I enjoyed it, and it's sad to see it go. I'm truly sad to see that. Now, let's get into some of the details of things. So there are some things with this, some interesting parts. One, they filed Chapter 11 and not Chapter 7. Chapter 7, if you file Chapter 7, the idea behind the Chapter 7 is that you're going to liquidate everything so that you can pay back your debtors or your creditors, or whatever, and pay them, and to do that. Whereas in Chapter 11, the idea is you're going to go through and try to negotiate. There's going to be a trustee set up that's going to help with that process. I'm no legal expert, but if you're looking at a company who's filing bankruptcy and possibly trying to look at, coming back, then, Chapter 11 would be the way that it would be to go. Now, however, the rumor is that as part of this, that the XFL is up for sale. Now, whether that's the XFL, whether that's just their assets that they have, I don't know. And we really don't know with that. And we got a list of, the top creditors that they had. And most of those were like the company that made the ball, the people that they still owed. The 7 of the 8 coaches, they still owed money to. They estimated somewhere, they had around, I think it's something like they were accrediting, 1,000 different entities that they still owed money to, and that it ranged anywhere between $10 to $50 million. Now, you're looking at this and you're saying, Tyler, the XFL, they had, $500 million that they had, were able that, Vince McMahon was going to invest in. I don't know. We don't really know the logistics of all that. Now, some people are trying to get on, the Vince McMahon because the idea was that there was no ties between the XFL and the WWE, and it found out that there were ties. And I looked at the two, they had like A stock and B stock. McMahon had all of A stock, and then he had like 70% of the B stock, and WWE had like 23% of the B stock. And when you look at that, it's legit. Part of the sale was that the WWE got a portion of the company, that 23% of the B stock, in the XFL. That was part of it. To me, that's no big deal. Whatever. That's water under the bridge. It's part of the deal. That stuff happens all the time. Some people are making a big deal about it because McMahon said that the two aren't tied together. Listen, they're two totally different companies, and just because one company has stock in another company doesn't mean that they're tied and linked completely together. They're still two completely different entities, and that's what they were. It was Alpha Entertainment, which was the XFL, and you had the WWE. So for me, that's totally fine in that. And again, I'm not a legal person. Do not ask me for legal advice, and I'm not a finance person as well. So not a lawyer, not a financial consultant, and I'm not an accountant. So, I take my word with a very, very no grain of salt at all, because these are just my thoughts with it. So, looking at those things, it's kind of interesting. If you get a chance, I'll put a link down in the comments section in the description section, where you guys can look at the whole filing yourself and check all that out. It's kind of neat to see everybody and to see kind of the money, $1 million that was still owed to Bob Stoops, which is a decent amount of cash there. Not crazy money like sports are right now, but is what it is. And it is just a sad time and just a sad day. I mean, this is one of those times where it, like I said, I'm just kind of a little down about all of this and with everything with it. The XFL had a bright future. Had it not be for this literally once in a lifetime event, who knows what would have happened with the XFL and what the XFL were doing. They had a great thing going. Now, when looking at this, could the XFL possibly come back? Unlikely. Could they? Possibly. They laid everybody off. I will say this. Everybody got a paycheck and got paid for the time that they were there. Now, stories are coming out about, this photographer, that. I don't know about that, but what we do know is that everybody that was on the payroll got a check, and that I'm pretty sure all of the players got paid. So everybody got paid, whereas the Alliance, they just kicked everybody out the door, said sorry about your luck, and you have to find your own ride home, and you got to pay for everything that we that we told you we would pay for. So pretty much it was a dine and dash with the AAF, where the XFL, that's not the case. So I do feel pretty good about that. Vince McMahon, doing that. It looks like the fans are going to get their money back, those that have season tickets, especially for 2021 season. So, I don't know. Could they make another run again? Yeah. Right now, it's a weird time. And people have been burnt by the AAF and the XFL. Listen, the needs there and the wants there. People want more football. And I think that it can work, and I think that it will work. It's just the XFL had a really good plan. Who would have thought, though, that they would have been, impacted by, like I said, a once-in-a-lifetime event that ravaged the whole world? It is what it is. And so, thankfully the XFL did good on their employees and paid everyone. Now, as I'm kind of going through all this stuff and trying to wade through it, there is a little bit of glimmer of hope. Like I said, they didn't file for Chapter 7. They filed for Chapter 11, which Chapter 11 looks like that the idea is that they're trying to work things out to possibly to pay everyone for things. So that could be what they're doing, that they're trying to do this. And again, it could be part of them positioning themselves to keep the company afloat. Now, the rumor of that the league's for sale, I have no clue. It's a rumor. The league might be for sale, and it might not. It might just be part of the proceedings of, looking for good faith as part of the process of this whole bankruptcy thing. I've never been through bankruptcy. I don't know how it works, but a lot of, bigger. You've seen bigger companies do this before, where they file for bankruptcy, then come right back around. Donald Trump's done it, many times. We've seen that before. So it's not the death sentence that you would normally see in other things. Now, I do know that right now Vince McMahon is hurting. This, not only is it hurting him here, but it's hurting him with the WWE. I mean, at least they can still wrestle and they can still have events, but they're not doing so hot with that. So right now, it could be that he's just circling the wagons and getting things possibly to where there's a glimmer of hope, something that they can maybe do something for the future. I don't know. I think things are pretty bleak. I'm pretty much run out. My half full glass is pretty much empty. There's nothing left in it. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I know a lot of people pretty much killed them. I've not necessarily killed them off, but I don't see us getting spring ball back anytime soon. And it's kind of sad because I really do feel like football is something that people love. And, if you look at soccer, people love soccer, and there are soccer leagues in soccer that's happening year round. And there are tons of leagues across the world, and people are watching them faithfully, big fans of that. And there's no reason why we can't have that with football. I don't necessarily mean around the world, but why there can't be more than one league. And why, there is such that thing of, well, it's not the NFL, so blah, 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 this. Listen, if it's good football and they're putting a good product out there, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be there. And that's what it was with the XFL. They did a really good thing, had a fun league, and I was there for it. And I truly feel that way. I feel that there is a market for it. I feel like that people are hungry for it. It's shown, and people liked it. And it was just going to grow and get better. I think they were poised to bring in some better talent off of some practice squads. I think that they even scared the NFL. I think it helped the NFL players to get more out of that CBA, more money for the lower tier guys, because they were, and being able to have more lower tier guys, whether it be on the practice squad or on the active squad, because, they didn't want their guys to get sniped and, be in this other league and they can't have them. So those are just kind of my thoughts. Like I said, it's kind of a somber day with it, but the channel's back. I'm going to be posting videos back regularly again, so don't worry about that. And I just appreciate you guys watching my videos. I love you guys. Leave me the comments down in the comment section. Let's start conversation back over again, and I'm going to be rolling content back out again with it. It's going to be some different stuff. I've had a couple of you guys ask me, hey, do some vlog stuff, so I'll start vlogging. I'll start doing some other things that might be some different stuff, but hey, we'll try some things and do some things with it. I'll also give you guys some look into kind of what else I do. I know some of you guys out there do like music and that, and so I do a lot of stuff with music. I just haven't really ever done anything on this channel and really done a lot with that. So I can kind of give you a glimpse into kind of that world and how I do all of that type of stuff. So yeah, there'll definitely be content coming from me here in the future. But yeah, for me, it's kind of a sad day, and I know for a lot of you two out there, it's a sad day for you. Listen, though, outside of sports, I hope every one of you are doing well. My prayers go out to you and your family everyone is just dealing with this, whether you've been affected by it directly or indirectly. We need to be praying for literally the world, and so hopefully, you guys are doing that. I know I am, and hopefully we'll get through this. We need to stick together and encourage one another, be there for one another, and thank you guys for being there for me and watching my videos. And those of you who've reached out, thank you. I'm doing just fine. I just took a break from YouTube. That's all. But I'm back, guys. Glad to be back. I hate that this has to be the first video back, but it is what it is. I love you guys. So anyways, that's pretty much about it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you around here soon. All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye.